Hello guys, welcome back to HeartTouch Recaps, where we dive deep into the emotions behind every story. And today's journey is a heart-touching and emotionally layered exploration of identity, friendship, and the quiet courage it takes to be honest with yourself. This story centers around two women, Pristine and Maria, and what begins as an ordinary conversation slowly transforms into an unforgettable moment of self-discovery and emotional truth. The scene opens in a calm and familiar setting, where Pristine warmly asks Maria about her recent trip, smiling as she mentions a shirt Maria brought back for her. Their interaction feels natural, comfortable, and filled with trust. It's the kind of everyday exchange that shows how strong their bond already is. There is laughter, gentle teasing, and a sense of emotional safety that immediately draws us in. This foundation of friendship is important because it reminds us that powerful emotional turning points often begin in the simplest moments. As they continue talking, the conversation shifts toward Maria's online classes and her personal growth. Pristine expresses genuine pride in Maria's dedication, encouraging her ambitions and celebrating her progress. This small but meaningful exchange highlights empowerment and support, showing how women uplift one another in moments of growth. But beneath Maria's smile, there is something unspoken. Her energy changes. She grows quieter, more thoughtful, and eventually admits that she needs to talk about something serious. That moment, the atmosphere becomes heavier, more intimate, and we sense that an emotional turning point is coming. Maria begins to open up about her marriage to her husband, Seth. She describes him as kind, dependable, and stable, someone who has done nothing wrong. Yet despite his positive qualities, she confesses that she no longer feels physically drawn to him. Her voice carries confusion and guilt because she cannot understand why her feelings have shifted. She still cares about him emotionally, but something inside her feels distant. This emotional conflict is heartbreaking because it reflects a very human experience, the painful realization that affection and attraction are not always the same. Pristine listens carefully without judgment. She doesn't interrupt or criticize. She simply holds space for Maria's truth. That silent support becomes one of the most powerful elements of the scene. Maria then shares something even more vulnerable. She admits that she has started questioning her attraction, that she feels a growing emotional and physical pull toward women. She doesn't describe it dramatically. Instead, she speaks with hesitation, as if saying the words out loud makes them more real. This is an emotional moment filled with fear and relief at the same time. Fear of what it means, and relief that she can finally admit it to someone she trusts. Pristine responds gently, revealing that she too has experienced moments of questioning and complexity in her own relationships. She explains that attraction can be fluid, that identity is not always fixed or simple. Her calm honesty normalizes Maria's feelings, showing that same-gender attraction is not something shameful or scandalous, but a valid and natural part of human experience. This reassurance shifts the emotional tone of the scene. Maria's guilt slowly begins to transform into understanding. They talk about marriage and societal expectations, about how sometimes people commit to a life before fully understanding themselves. Maria expresses her fear of hurting Seth and disrupting the stability of her life. She feels torn between loyalty and authenticity. This internal struggle becomes the emotional core of the story. It's not about betrayal or drama. It's about the courage to confront who you are, even when it complicates everything around you. Pristine emphasizes that exploring identity should come from a place of consent, comfort, and readiness. She does not pressure Maria to make a decision. Instead, she encourages reflection and honest communication. This mentorship reflects the importance of safe spaces and supportive friendships, especially when navigating deeply personal questions. Through their dialogue, the story highlights how emotional intimacy and trust can guide someone through confusion toward clarity. Maria admits that when she connects emotionally with women, she feels seen and understood in a different way. She begins to articulate feelings she had previously buried under expectations. As she speaks, we see her transformation, not into certainty but into self-awareness. This is the emotional climax of the scene. There is no dramatic confrontation, no explosive argument. The most powerful moment is simply Maria saying, "This is how I feel," and allowing herself to own it. The story beautifully portrays that identity can evolve over time, challenges rigid labels and binary thinking, presenting attraction as a spectrum rather than a fixed category. Maria's journey reflects the complexity of adulthood, where growth sometimes reveals truths we were not prepared to face earlier in life. Yet the narrative handles this with sensitivity and respect, focusing on emotional honesty rather than sensationalism. As the conversation continues, Maria's breathing steadies, her posture relaxes, and there is a visible shift in her energy. She may not have all the answers, but she no longer feels alone. Pristine's validation becomes a source of strength, reminding her that self-discovery is not selfish, and that acknowledging one's truth is the first step toward genuine happiness. The scene closes on a note of quiet hope. Maria understands that whatever path she chooses must be rooted in honesty, with herself and with those she loves. She realizes that suppressing her feelings will only deepen her heartbreak, while confronting them may open the door to authentic living. This heart-touching story reminds us that true love begins with self-love, and that emotional growth often requires uncomfortable conversations. Celebrates female bonding, mentorship, and the power of empathy in navigating complex feelings. Rather than focusing on dramatic romance, the narrative centers on self-awareness, trust, and courage. In doing so, it becomes an unforgettable love story, not just between people but between a person and her truth. And sometimes the bravest thing anyone can do is simply admit who they are becoming. If this emotional journey resonated with you, make sure to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to HeartTouch Recaps for more cinematic, heart-touching stories every week.